This video is to talk through how to use the actual start date and actual end date columns on a Project Insight task list. As you can see here on this task list, one of these tasks is marked as done. You can also see the actual start date and actual end date populated on that task that has been done. So you can also see if I update this task to started, now I've got that actual start date entered, but the actual end date has not been populated. That's because the task has not been completed yet. However, if I to mark the task as done, then the actual start date and the actual end date would be stamped. Now, where to set this on the project level is if I go to the Edit Task Defaults page, scroll down to Actual Start and End Date options, you'll see these are the two options for the actual start date right here and actual end date right here. If you want to not take advantage of the actual start date or actual end date population at all and not even use it, you can include no auto population and hit apply to all tasks, which will mean that no matter what you do on the task list, meaning starting it or ending the task, no population will take place on the actual start date and actual end date columns. I have it set so that the actual day and time, just the day actually, will populate when the task has been started or ended, specifically started or ended here. If I want to change it to the date and time and apply to all tasks, and I can go back to the task list, that means that when I mark this task as done, then the exact times that it is right now, it's 3:33 p.m. on Friday, it's going to take the exact snapshot of time of when the start date and end date was updated, which is both of them at the same time since I marked the task as done. Going back to those task defaults, you see you have a few other options here. You can also choose the scheduled date. You can choose a few other variations of the date that you actually made the update. You can make it so that you cannot actually edit that actual start or end date, or you can make it so that the actual start and end date actually can be edited afterwards. There's a few different variations of this. The most commonly used are these two right here, depending on if you want to use the actual time or not, the scheduled date, or no auto population. I personally like just having the date and time and not the actual specific time, like 3:33 p.m. I just want to know it's happened at this day at 8 a.m. or this day at 5 p.m. is the scheduled time. It looks a little cleaner in this way to me. That's been an overview of how to use the actual start date and actual end date on the task. You can also control this on the global level. If you go to your add-ons list here, specifically to the projects and tasks add-on, which sometimes is just easier to search for that, and tasks, okay, configure, and go to the task default settings. This should look fairly similar. This shows what the actual default setting is for the entire system. So you can make that adjustment and apply to all projects and tasks.